Day, the 7th of December, and as it was yesterday, it's rather rainy outside. Bit of a miserable day actually. It's my wife's birthday today, so happy birthday to her. She's currently out with her mum, and I'm at home with one of my children, but I've quickly jumped out of the car to go and see what I can see outside, and see which of you will pop in for one of our daily chats. We're going to probably go out and do something later on as a family, as you do on special occasions. We'll go and see what we can see, some nice food or something somewhere. Well, we've got a couple of you in the chat now, just turned up, so hello to you all. Hope you're okay where you are, and I should wait for you to identify yourselves, so I know who's popped in to say hi to Andy the Gabby Cabby with one of our daily chats. Hope you're all okay. Neil Tanner, afternoon Andy, afternoon Neil. Hello. It's my wife's birthday, and she's ended up with a rainy one, but we'll be going out later, so it's all good. Max Ernest, hello Andy. Howard Bowen, hi Andy, hello to you too. Mark Hampson, afternoon Andy. I'm a new follower, Mark in Betchley Bucks. Thank you Mark, thank you for following and joining the channel. Appreciate all the support, and hope we continue to give you value in the content with you know, what I try and do every day. Terry Woolley, hello. Simon Burrow, hi from Yorkshire. Is it raining up there? Richard Void, dead right, slurp. Keith Scott says, afternoon Andy, another wet and windy day in McCranky Land. I never tire of that phrase, I never do, and it's dead right, isn't it? She looks like one of the crankies. Max Ernest, you glitched out for a minute just now. Yeah, I've got a Samsung Galaxy S21, which I do all of everything on. I run my business on it, my home life, my YouTube, and it's got 2 SIM cards in it, and somebody just tried to ring me, and sometimes it does make it glitch out, unfortunately. I am of 2 minds whether to turn that SIM card off when I do a live broadcast or get a separate phone entirely. You know, I haven't made my mind up yet, but we'll look into that one. But it's definitely annoying when you're on here trying to talk to everybody and it glitches out. Well, we've got a few more in the chat now, so welcome for another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I purely run these every day just to, you know, give you a chance to hop on a communal forum to have a chat with each other, and you know, get to know one another, and gives me a bit of access to you all. Like the old modem days, if the phone rang, that was it. Yeah, I remember them, Max, the old 56k modems, bless them. They did all the beeps and whirrings. Lorna McKenzie, hello Andy and all. Hello Lorna, hope you're well. Jason, hello to you, welcome. Tracy Davis, hi Andy, hello from rainy Bristol. Oh, I bet it's rainy down there. I went to Bristol Airport once via Brighton, and that was a long, long way. It felt like it took forever, but that was a while back. Are you affected by the court ruling on VAT with Uber taxis? Not as yet, I'm not, Neil Tanner. I brought a video out on that later on. I mean, VAT is purely on, you know, it has a limit, a profit limit, and we try and sort my figures out so that's not a thing. But if your figures go up by 20%, your fares go up by 20%, it outprices you. And the other thing that worried me about Uber was where you treat self-employed taxi drivers as workers, therefore entitling them to all of the benefits that come with the position of work. And I'm self-employed for a very valid reason. I'm the master of my own destiny. I like it that way. Anna Perkins, hi Andy, hi everyone, for a very rip and windy south coast. Glad I'm indoors. Well, I'm in my car. My wife's just come home, so I'll just wave at her. Yes, she's seen me. Just got here with the mother-in-law. Chucking it down here in South Yorkshire. Howard Bowen, so everyone going to follow Harry's advice. Quit your job and be happy. Not me, as I'm one of the peasants who has bills and need money. Out of touch or what? Totally out of touch. I had to read that headline twice. It's a bit like the one where you own nothing and be happy, isn't it? It's not quite right there somehow. Yeah, This must be Megan the Malarkist talking, I think. Very much so. Well, what happy birthday to the wife, Anna Perkins says. Yes, I'll let her know. I mentioned it was her birthday yesterday, and a few of you kindly wished her happy birthday, which she appreciated. She's been out with my mother-in-law all day, and they're just getting out of the car now. So I shall go and see them a little bit later, and we'll go and do something together, probably a meal or something. Prince Harry telling everyone to quit their job shows how detached from reality he is. Well, when you've led the kind of life he has, why do you need a job? Tony Whitworth, Boris Johnson in a police uniform joins police on drug raid as PM pledges crackdown. Today a police uniform, tomorrow a military uniform. That's what tyrants do, yeah. And also it's a good distraction from the complete failure down in Dover, isn't it? If him and Pretty Useless go and talk about something else, it's very much a distraction. Lorna Mackenzie, don't even start me on Prince Harry and Meghan. I faithfully promise, Lorna, I will not mention the Ginger Whinger for the entirety of this broadcast, unless somebody else does. Aisha Bless, hi Andy, how's your videos? You have me in stitches sometimes with your humour. You're very informative. Well, I try and tell the truth, and I try and, you know, bring you an honest opinion. And if I can make you laugh as well, that makes me a happy man. Pleased to hear that, thank you. Avola's sunglasses, I don't watch much TV at all, but Neil Oliver on GB News is a breath of fresh air. Have you watched him? A couple of times, and he talks sense, doesn't he? He really does. Lorne Mackenzie, Prince William and Kate, on the other hand, are very grounded. Yeah. Paul, hi Andy. I see drug traces have been found in the Westminster toilets. Do you think they're high when making an issue? They're definitely on something, aren't they? They've got a complete absence of any common sense whatsoever. And it does explain, you know, some things, doesn't it? They're talking about putting sniffer dogs in there. But whether that... You can see an Alsatian sitting there, can't you, having a good old sniff around while they're doing a debate. I can't even... Yeah, can't even fathom that. Regarding quitting a job, always have a plan B should you be sacked or made redundant, but never quit until you have something else lined up, including retraining if necessary. There's an old saying, isn't there, Anna Perkins? It's always easier to find a job moving on from another job than, you know, moving on from unemployed. Pooh Bear, looks like you need a holiday or break, Andy. I certainly do. I had an early start this morning. At this time of year, you end up taking some families to the airport who take their kids to Lapland. I've done a couple of those over the last couple of days, and they're a bit of an early start. So I've had about 5 hours sleep, I think. I can get by on that, but not ideal. Hi, Factual Breakdown. Glad you can make it. Good to see you today. Yeah, Factual Breakdown told me something yesterday, and I bring a video on it out later, to do with the US postal system and the extortionate charges involved in trying to get stuff out of the country. It's completely ridiculous. I was expecting a parcel from stateside, and it literally can't be sent here because of the obstacles involved, and it would certainly affect other people who have relatives or friends or anybody else. It's awful. Tony Whitworth, sniffer dogs in Parliament would be high as a kite. Yeah, I think you're right there. It's either the magic powder or bullshit, or a mixture of the both. What do you reckon? Well, for those of you that don't know, on the 22nd of December, I'm going to be on Police Off the Cuff, the show with Phil Grimaldi and Bill Cannon over in America. They've got me on. They were on yesterday calling me a London cabby, and talking about the knowledge and everything. I'm not actually a London cabby per se, because I'm licensed by somewhere else. So I'm licensed out of Thanet Council down Margate way, but my knowledge of London is pretty good because most of my work is in and around there, so I can certainly tell them a few things. Factual Breakdown, Andy, we are heartbroken. Shannon Lee's so sad she wants to bring the package to you her drama class takes a trip to the UK, which she's working on. Well, I'll be happy to see you when you both get over here. You know, it's the end of the day, Factual Breakdown, it's the thought that counts. You've been very thoughtful, and I appreciate it. And I know between us we'll make it happen, but I'm more concerned with, you know, what effect this has on other people that, you know, need that service. And when they're met with the kind of prices you were quoted, it's ridiculous. I see you, Cove Lord, in the chat. Afternoon to you. Hope you're well. You probably got the same problem I have with the weather. Bloody awful. Lorna McKenzie saying, Pooh Bear, how awful for you. Tony Whitworth, Sadiq Khan renews threat to charge workers 33 quid a day to enter London. How does that affect you, Anne? Well, it affects my customers more than me, Tony, because if he does that, I'll have to pass the cost on, and then it's their decision whether they want to go that way or not. So, I mean, it's like with the ULEZ charge. They've expanded that out as far as the North and South Circular. So you literally, from Margate, you get as far as Kidbrooke, and you're in the zone. So naturally, you pass it on to the customer. Sandra B, hi Andy. Hi to you, Sandra. Thank you for joining. Had a slight technical difficulty yesterday. I use a thing called Streamlabs to do all my live streaming now. I've got used to it. The writing is clear and it stays there, and there's a little bit more functionality than the standard YouTube native live stream software, and it seems to be more stable as well. But for some reason I couldn't log into it yesterday, but I found a way around it today, and I'm glad of it. I'm going to send you an email later on about package delivery, since the news footage is a bit beyond ridiculous. I've done a video Factual Breakdown based on what you sent me yesterday, just try and raise a bit of awareness about it. But if you got any more information, I can certainly expand later. Tony Whitworth, kills your trade then, Andy? Well, the main thing that kills my trade is what's going on with air travel, to be honest. I was talking to someone earlier, and he's had something like 10 jobs cancelled today, all because of the additional requirements, and people don't want to take the risk. Sharon Shooter, hey up Andy, I'm here. Hey up Sharon, how is it up where you are? Wherever that may be. That was the lousiest accent I've ever heard. Speaking of accents, I overheard the police off the cuff guys. They were going to see if they could get me to talk in a New York accent. So I'll have to try and get ready for that and try and practice. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt it now. I can do a basic kind of American thing like that, but I'll have to work on the New York dialect, but that's work in progress. And being the 22nd, I've got plenty of time to spare. Andy, if parents aren't able to chaperone that trip, I may need you to keep a special eye on Shannon Lee. She already said that Margate, not London, will be the destination. But well, you let me worry about that. I sound like John Wayne, do I? Factual Breakdown is a get off your horse and drink your milk. That one, yeah. I'm not quite sure what regional dialect that is, but we'll go. That's disgusting, Keith Pheasant Plucker. I had to be careful how I said that. Yes, I can see that coming all over the place. No prick, no nothing. And when they're talking about, you know, life-saving medical issues, cross the line there in my view. Factual Breakdown, do that on the show. That's great. What? Get off your horse and drink your milk. Yeah, I could try that. I tried the New York accent. You know. I find if you stick your tongue to the front of your mouth a little bit more, it kind of changes it a little way, but I'll work on it. Mark Hampson, I used to love listening to Roger Twiggy Day and Dave Cash on BBC Radio Kent. Okay, they had some good stuff, didn't they? Yeah, really good back in the day. But you can tell I'm a young man, can't you? I went to school with somebody with the name Hampson, actually. His name is David Hampson, another local guy to me. He'd be in his 40s. Like me, we were in the same year. Factual Breakdown, call me Andy. I can help with that. I have a New York accent, was born in New York City, and my dad was a boy from the Bronx. I might take you up on that. I want to surprise them. I can do some accents, some better than others, and I'm not very comfortable with chucking them out in public, but we can work on that one. Fiona Gregory, hiya. Hiya Fiona, thank you for joining. Matt Hancock says, please remember to say happy holidays rather than Merry Christmas to be more inclusive to those that do not celebrate Christmas. It's not all about you. Matt Nuremberg. Yeah. There's 3 words I can say to Matt Hancock. The first one is rude, the second one is right, and the third one is off. Since when have we ever listened to him? Merry bloody Christmas and an even better New Year is what I say to that, and I hope everybody else agrees. Okay, factual breakdown. I'll try and get some time to do that. I really want to surprise them. The thing with the police off the cuff guys, they think I'm a London cabbie from what I was listening to. I'm a cabbie, but not from London, but I work in London, so close enough. But I'm looking forward to that show. Really am. Stephen, Andy, Gabby Cabby, hope you're well. I'm well, thank you for joining. Yeah, John Wayne was only ever killed in one film, The Shootist, 1975 or 6. I remember seeing that. That was one of his last ones, wasn't it? Is that the one where he played the aging cowboy? Sadly, Andy, the Yanks think that England means London. Yeah, factual. I'm probably about 80 miles away from London, where I'm sat right now. I do work in London all the time, to City Airport, some of the theatres and all that sort of thing. So I'm in and out there all the time, and also to the airports. I try and avoid, well, a lot of London if I can, and send one of the other boys, because sometimes it can be a bit of a bind, to say the least, with it. But we certainly get in and out of there. Christmas is a Christian festival. What about it? You're absolutely right, Lorna. When they talk about inclusivity and all the rest of it, it does send alarm bells in my head. It's a Christian celebration and a Christian day, and it should be respected for what it is. I couldn't give 2 shits about inclusivity with that. Either you like it or you don't. You know, if you're part of a religion that doesn't celebrate Christmas, then don't celebrate Christmas. Those of you that do, leave us to it. It's as simple as that. Fiona Gregory, I'm a good atheist. Max Ernest, no, John, hang on, we're having a debate about John Wayne, got killed in the sands of Iwo Jima as Sergeant Stryker. Okay, I've seen that film, not all the way through though. I remember Sergeant Stryker. Andrew Cooper, when I was a cabbie years ago, most of the work I did was taking drunks home and listening out for that sound followed by that smell. Oh God, yeah. I did that for 5 years of my time as a cabbie, local work, and it was always very interesting, particularly on a Friday or Saturday night. I remember driving somebody home once. It must have been 2 o'clock in the morning, and I remember hearing. I thought, oh shit. I looked round and he looked fine, and I couldn't see anything. And he got out of the car and paid me. And when I looked in the footwell, he'd chundered all over it. It was absolutely disgusting. But it's a risk. That's one of the reasons I do airport runs, because you get a far better class of people. Although there might be a problem with airport runs in the not too distant future, because there appears to be a few problems involved in that area, doesn't there? No, I believe in logic, and God is not logical. Yeah, you got a point there, Fiona Gregory. Max Ernest, remember the Alamo? Yeah, great films, John Wayne. Really great films. You can't beat some of the old classics now, and when they try and remake some of them as well. And I heard a thing about music a long time ago where they said you'll get to the point where every single possible combination of note, chord and melody ever would have been used, and you'll get to a point where things are, you know, repurposed again and again, or remixed as they call it. And I really find of late that films seem to have got there first. They seem to want to remake old classic films, which in my opinion should be left as they are and not touched. They were good the first time. Honesty and truth, Andy, do you like chocolate? And if so, which one? I'm a chocoholic, honesty and truth. My favourite current chocolate bar is a Yorkie bar with the raisins and biscuit pieces in. I had one of them this morning actually, but I usually gravitate around Aeros and other things like that. Lorna Mackenzie, the old films are the best, they certainly are. The Cowboys is another John Wayne death. Factual breakdown, there is much that simply cannot be explained away by logic, but it's up to the individual to cultivate their own relationship with God. Negating the existence does not make it so. Yeah, I love, I love life, and I've seen things in life. I missed out on a religious upbringing, really, but I kind of come to my own conclusions about what it's all about. Tink 123, changing films is to do with changing history, like banning books and censoring the internet, so the next generation have no idea of their own history. Dead right. There, it needs leaving as it is, even if it is inconvenient to the lefties. We've got some more in the chat now, so welcome to you all. If you've just joined us, daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, just a little get together we do every day, and it's nice because we all get to know each other a bit more, and I can have a little bit of live exposure to you, and we can all have a chat. Hey Andy, have you tried a Hershey bar? Yeah, there's a garage, Max Ernest, there's a garage round the corner from me that sells Hershey bars. We have a few American things that turn up on the shelves every now and again. I have had one. It was a white one with bits in it. I can't remember quite what they were, but it was nice. James Hoey, greetings from Ireland, Andy. Stuck in a storm. Far more pleasant than a blast of hot stinking air from politicians. Is that the hot air mixed with bullshit, I wonder? Good to hear regular folk gabbing. Keep at it. Thank you very much, James. That's what we're trying to do here. Honesty and truth. Factual breakdown. I like dark chocolate. Tony Whitworth, 650 MPs and only a few calling this out. Conservative MP Desmond Swain says we've gone too far with restrictions, and early reports the moronic variant is milder. That was just in the news when I read earlier. We know the truth now. It's bloody ridiculous. But Factual Breakdown just pointed out, if you're new here, please give the like button a stick and subscribe to the channel if you haven't as well. We're doing really well now, and I do appreciate all your support. I always have and I always will. And I continue to do what I do, bring you news and opinion every day and have a little chat with you all. Honesty and truth, are you in the States? Sees Candy in San Francisco making the best tart chocolate. Okay. What was your first motor, Andy? My first motor, if you go way back when I first started driving, was a VW Golf C-Reg. I think 1986, if I'm correct. Absolutely rock solid car it was, and bought it for 500 quid off a family friend. Third party fire and theft insurance, and it got me started. I absolutely loved that car. Used to go round everywhere in it. Dr. Killery needs arresting. He's still on TV saying pathologically lying. All the hospitals are full, and when it's the other way around. Yeah, I need to go to Company's house again, I think, and look up his name. I can't even send you and your lovely wife happy birthday, Mrs. G, a box of seeds from San Francisco. Well, you could, Factual, but it'll cost you $400, as you've already pointed out. It's ridiculous. Hopefully it'll change someday. I really don't know what the answer is. But when it works out, it's cheaper to get on a plane and fly over here and give the parcel yourself. It really comes to something, doesn't it? Hi Andy, Brutal here in Southern Ireland. Hope all is well. Hi Neats. I assume you're talking about the weather as well as other things. I have been following it, and I do feel for you guys there. Somebody mentioned a Ford Cortina. My uncle had one of those. That was a great car as well. We're always rolling around in that. We're going back in time now. Andrew Cooper, it's rain and wind here in France too. Which part of France are you in, Andrew, and how is it over there? I drive around the M25 obviously on a daily basis, and you see, oh, testing required on all the goddamn signs near the airports and the Dover port. It's ridiculous. I suppose you could get on a dinghy and come across, couldn't you, and bypass it. Where else are we? Lorna Mackenzie, we had Cortinas, laugh out loud. Absolutely great cars. I did see one the other day. I can't remember where, but it's the first one I've seen in over 20 years. Honesty and truth, factual breakdown. The estate is open to the public only between 1st of July and the 31st of August. Andrew Cooper, limousine, just 10 kilometres north of Dordogne. Okay, that's handy to know. Ant S, do you play pool? Years ago I did. I played with pool from a very young age, and I got very heavily involved in 9-ball, American 9-ball. And there was a place locally where we played it all the time. I was there every waking hour, won a couple of tournaments, tried to get in a big one at one point, which could have qualified me for the Moscone Cup, but it's a long time ago. But I'm a bit rusty now. I taught my son, and he's fairly good, but doesn't go competitively anywhere, but he's quite handy with a pool cue. My favourite car I owned was a Ford Lotus Mark 1 Cortina. They were worth a fortune now. Well, my C-Reg VW Golf, I've seen them for a few £1,000 around the place. They certainly hold their value, and then some. They're going up, if anything. Some of these older retro cars are getting a bit collectible now, aren't they? So it's very, very good. Factual breakdown. My Shannon Lee shoots pool quite well, even though pool cues are taller than she is. Yeah, I was always told a good fit for a pool cue should come up just above the shoulder there, and you know, the weight according to what you're comfortable with. My best car was a Vauxhall Cresta PB, loved her. Factual breakdown, Neats, oh that's awful, stay safe. Aisha, bless, I love your dinghy posts. Yeah, they try and bury it, don't they, that news, Aisha. It needs bringing out to the front of the news. People need to be made aware of what's going on. It's pretty tragic, really. A bit like the weather where I'm sitting. I'll see if I can do this again like I did yesterday. Hang on. Yeah, that's the view out of my window right now. That's my street. And that car down the front, you can see it's absolutely chucking it down. And it did this time yesterday as well. So, yeah, not great weather. Anyway, we've got a load of people here now. Welcome to the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Try and do one of these every day, so I can get to talk to you all. You can talk to each other. We can have a general chit chat, and as I say, try and do one of these every day. Just a reminder for people: 22nd of December, I will be on Police Off the Cuff. They're saying 7 o'clock Eastern Standard, which is about midnight over here. So it is a bit of a late one, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. It'll be on replay if you don't get it. Factual breakdown, we need more thumbs up. Has everyone clicked? Thanks for keeping an eye on that, Factual. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if everybody can give the like button a click on the feed, because it does help with the algorithm and everything. Kevin Clifford, hi Andy, have a great day. Hello to you, Kevin, thank you for joining, and best wishes back to you as well. Honesty and truth, as Billy Connolly said, in Scotland we have 2 seasons, winter and June. That's about right. Aisha, exactly, the government has buried this problem. Yeah, I think that's why they're talking about county lines gangs. It's a distraction. We can look at that now instead of what's really going on under our noses. Twain was right. I missed that one. Let's give it a scroll down. Swain was right about the coldest winter ever. Spent being a summer in San Francisco. Yes, Andy from the Bonny Highlands of Scotland. Hugh McBeath. Keith Pheasant Plucker. My first car, Andy, was a Zodiac. Paid 50 quid for it. It was 6 months MOT, where bungee clips held the wings together around the front. I love it. That's a proper car, isn't it? Factory breakdown, San Francisco, chilly in June, not silly in June. I'd love to go to San Francisco one day. There's a couple of places over there I wouldn't mind visiting. Alan Reeder's here. Afternoon, Andy, he says. Afternoon to you as well. Show Me Sasquatch says, don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. You've got to live for the, you know, what you've got that's happy in your life. And I feel sorry for, well, I don't feel sorry for people. I really feel for people that are in bad situations that don't have a lot, particularly at this time of year. It can't be easy. I had another look into the whole Arthur situation earlier, where they're talking about Arthur's Law and everything else with that poor young boy that was murdered. And there was another bit of news on that earlier that really needed to come to my attention. And I've put some more content on that, which will come out of later. You won't see this on the camera, but my wife's just come out to her car with no coat on, and it's pissing hard with rain outside. I don't quite know what she was up to, but she looks quite wet, and she's running with something else. Oh well. If I was quick enough, I could have put the camera around, but she wouldn't appreciate me for it. Honestly, Show Me Sasquatch, don't let the darkness of your past or the fear of your future ruin the happiness of your... Totally right, it's good advice. Doris James, my favourite car was a Ford Anglia. Loved it. I have 2 models of them. I've not seen one of them for years, Doris. Really haven't. Hugh McBeath, hi Lorna, Hugh says. Gary Stubbington, wonder how many have heard of a Vauxhall Wyvern, is that? My second car, shows my age. I got as far as Vauxhall and then I got a little bit lost, Gary, I have to admit. I'm only a young chap, born in, well, 1978 I was born, so I'm about, what's that, 32? No, I'm 43, getting on 44 next year. Lorna Mackenzie, Dominic Raab is shameless, should have resigned, Boris should have sacked him. Yeah, I saw some of the headlines where there's some kind of meeting or inquiry about Gary Stubbington. That's the year after my dad, so similar age. Yeah, I saw where he was in a meeting or an inquiry about something to do with the Afghanistan pullout and some of the crap that was coming out. Totally shameless, and you're right, he should go. Kay, you're only as old as you feel. Come on. Andrew Cooper had a Vauxhall Magnum. I've heard of a Magnum ice cream. No, seriously, I've heard the name, but I can't picture the shape. I'm going to have to have a look at some of these cars when I get in, you know. Really some history. But anyway, welcome to the Daily Chat, if you've just joined us. Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I did start calling it Daily Gabbing with Andy the Gabby Cabby, but I thought there was too much Gabby in that title, so I just called it Daily Chat instead. And all good, and I welcome you all to the channel, as I do every day, for a little chat. Alan Reeder, I'm older than you by 4 years. Who's that, me or the guy that says he's born in 1949? Julie Baldwin's here. Hi Andy, hi to you Julie, hope you're well. Andrew Cooper, Magnum was a deluxe and modified Viva. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, we had a Viva. When my mum and dad were together, the family car was a Vauxhall Viva, and when they split up in 1984 I think, myself and my mum ended up with a Vauxhall Viva, and my dad went out and bought a Ford Capri with his overtime money that he got from the Arthur Scargill era miners' strikes, and God, that thing could shift. Michael May, I had a Ford Capri, wonderful car. My stepmom was driving that in about 1987. and had a small coming together with some railings at some traffic lights, and the only thing that remained of it for years was the car stereo. So it did meet a bit of a sticky end, but lovely car. Oh, okay, Alan. I wasn't sure who you were referring to. Yeah, very, very similar age. Factual breakdown. My parents' first car was Herbie the Love Bug. Did it have the number on the front like Herbie? Was it 53, was it? I can't remember. We had a Ford Capri 3 litre. Yeah, I tell you, them older cars could shift. My E-Class Mercedes is a 3 litre V6, and that can absolutely fly compared with this minibus I'm sitting in right now. Richard Void had to bump start the V for every morning. We had to bump start ours a few times as well. My mum worked in a tile shop, and her routine was get me to school and then go to work. And every now and again we'd get in and the damn thing wouldn't start. It was awful. Marie Green's here. Hi Andy, how you doing? I'm fine, Marie. Thank you for joining us. Hope your day's going all right. Let me know what you've been up to. It's one of our daily chats with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I've noticed today, it might be the day of the week, that we've got a few more people in the chat at the moment than we did yesterday. I don't know whether that's because I was using different software or Streamlabs is better. I really don't know, but seem to be getting a bit more exposure here. Lorna McKenzie, I wanted that car, but Dad didn't think it would be safe to drive by the time I was 17. That's from Factual Breakdown. Stephen Owens, I had a Vauxhall Viva. Yeah, I think they were quite common, weren't they? My honesty and truth, my friend had a Chevy and called it a Shove It. I've heard that before with Chevys. My dad had a Robin Reliant. Yeah, great cars, great cars. Yeah, Factual Breakdown. Marie Green, Andy's going to be on Police Off the Cuff. I tell you, I'm looking forward to that. I really am. I was put in touch with those guys and they're always mentioning me, and I try and do the same for them as well. Cross-pollination, Bill Cannon calls it, and it does work quite well. I've just got to work on the American accent. I tried one earlier on in this live stream and I'm told I sounded like John Wayne. Like, get off your horse and drink your milk, that kind of thing. At least the weather will keep the dinghy divers out today, Sharpie55 says. Well, it depends how fast the RNLI can meet the French in the middle of the channel, doesn't it? But we'll see. Marie Green, factual, I know, exciting, whoop whoop, yeah. We're all looking forward to it. They're telling me it's 7 o'clock Eastern Standard, and they're about 5 hours behind us in the UK, so it'll be about midnight our time. You know, it'll be a late one, so I hope some of you can make it live, but there'll be the replay obviously later if you can't, but it'll be a good show either way. Lorna McKenzie, Robert De Niro, Andy, think Robert did bit okay. Robert De Niro, yeah, I'm with that. He changes his accent a few times as well, depending on what role he's in, doesn't he? Tony Whitworth, never got on with my Viva, Stephen Owens says. Yeah, we never got on with ours after a while. It went to the great scrap heap in the sky. Mark Keane, Max Ernest, I think they were called Trafficators. I'm not sure what that's about. I must have missed the other chat. Sharpie55, you want a break or is it a day off today? Well, I took some of the Gatwick at 6 o'clock this morning. I got home just before 10 and got the rest of the day off. I've got another airport run tomorrow night. It's my wife's birthday today, so we're going to go out and do some bits and pieces. Factual Breakdown, seriously call me once you get the nuance, you'll have it down. Alright, Factual, I got your number in that email, so I will take you up on that because I really want to try and get it. Sharpie 55 quid's in, and it certainly was. They were going to Lapland with their 2 kids. Julie Baldwin, I have a Morris Minor that my parents bought and drove till they passed away and still going strong. That's unbelievable, isn't it? They don't make them like they used to. Trafficators with the pop-out indicators on. Were they the little flag things that came down, Mark Keane, on the actual wing mirrors? I've seen them. I didn't know they were called trafficators. Alan Reader, pelting it down in Reading. It's probably pelting it down everywhere. Factual Breakdown, got Chinese takeout yesterday and it was delicious. Haven't had that in a while. We got a curry house down the bottom of my road that does a fairly good curry most days. It's just catching them open though, that's the thing. Stephen Miles, Ford Escort Mark 1 was my first car. Yeah, all talking about cars still. Tippy Tappy Man, hello Gabby Man. Hello Tippy Tappy Man, hope you are okay and thank you for joining us on this crappy Tuesday. Horrible weather. Neat says happy birthday Mrs. Andy. I'll be sure to pass that on to her. Mark Keane, little pop out flag in it. Yeah, I know the kind. I didn't know they were called trafficators. That's something new I've learnt today. Are snakes and beautiful? Everything is made to break. It's a money thing, and the older cars run better than the newer ones. Absolutely correct. It's all cheap plasticky crap now, isn't it? I had this Ford Tourneo I'm sat in. I had a couple of suspension arms that I had to get replaced on it to get it through its council MOT, and they lasted 190,000 miles. They were the original ones from new, so it was a good thing. So I got the original Ford ones put in again on the basis that they'll last a fair bit more and hopefully take it to the end of its life, but we will see. Bringing back the Mark II Escort. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Janet Mary Timothy. I've never had a car, only a motorcycle. I never got on with motorcycles, I'll be honest. They scared me with two wheels and the old red thing. I didn't feel in control. Chris Austin, hi Andy, hope you're having a good day. My day is fantastic, Chris, apart from the weather. Fine and dandy. Did a job this morning and I'm home for the day, so it's all good. Some of the blokes on my old firm had Datsun cherries, Max Ernest says. Another birthday wish from Hugh McBee for my wife, thank you, I'll pass that on. It's really nice of you all. Kay as well, happy birthday to the wife. Factual Breakdown, I drive a Hyundai, have under 30,000 on the clock and we'll keep it forever. Yeah, decent cars. I always got told with cars, something Japanese or something German, and they're solid and will go forever. And then what do? I buy something from Dagenham. Never mind. I lived in the back of a Corsa for 6 weeks. They were quite roomy, weren't they, Richard? You could do all sorts in a Corsa. Stephen Owens says, happy birthday to your wife. I'll pass that on, thank you. Audi Q2. I think one of them overtook me the other day, Marie Green. Shannon Lee wanted a Tesla until her friend's Tesla kept failing to start in the school lot. Oh, God. Susan Pollitt. Hi, Andy, from sunny Bolton. My first car, Ford Capri. Loved it. All the best to you and your family. Thank you, Susan. All the best to you as well. Ford Capri was a great car. Chris Austin. We had an Angels back in the day. Lots of car talk here now. Yeah, the content today will be out from 6 o'clock, and I usually release it in half an hour increments. I try and record it in the morning and bring it out to you in half-hour increments from about 6 o'clock in the evening, because I'm told by YouTube that's when most people are about, you know, ready to view my stuff, so I try and put it in front of you then. And got a little bit of mixed bag of things. I bought you a video yesterday about a military person who was suing the MOD for something like nearly 900 grand because of a perceived disability he received from a posting in Estonia. And I bring you a video of something very similar with the police today. And I thought, what the hell's this world coming to? And I'm sure you will do too. I think something's gone very wrong with our thought processes somewhere as a nation, but you know, what the hell do I know? I'm just a cab driver. You can do all sorts in an XR2. I go blue here, 20 quid a year road tax. What size is the engine on that Anna Perkins? It's probably, it sounds like a 1 litre or something. Somebody asked me a question there about films. Andy, what's your favourite sci-fi film, as you said you liked it? I like the original Star Wars films, Mark Keane, the original ones, you know, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, because that's, you know, like the fallen redemption of somebody. And I like Star Trek, all of the Star Trek films, and obviously the series, and I'm a big fan of Battlestar Galactica. I was quite impressed with the remaking of it and the way they finally ended up at Earth. I know your question was films, but thought I'd throw in a couple of series there as well. And they've got a new Matrix film coming out soon, haven't they? Seen a couple of trailers of that. Want to give that a try, see what I think of it, and see if I could understand it any more than the previous films. Richard Void, did you pay that parking ticket? They've had the letter telling him to piss royally off, and I haven't heard anything yet, so we'll see. Factual breakdown. I know I was trying to be humorous, says PJ Mosley. Mark Keane, the new version of BSG was awesome. Yeah, the thing I loved about that was the fact that they turned up at our Earth, but thousands and thousands of years in our past, and it was clever how they integrated them with us right back at the beginning. Honesty and Truth, I like Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones and The Witness were great. I love Harrison Ford, one of my favourite actors, absolutely brilliant. I was pissed off with J.J. Abrams that they killed off Han Solo, but I think that was a deal to get Harrison Ford back in. Mark, I never really got into Blake 7, I have to admit. A little bit of Blake 7 chat now. Carbon footprint of electric cars are that great, it's false economy. That's right, because they don't tell you about the processes of making them and the disposal of the batteries, the constraint. It's false economy. Keith Pheasant Plucker, Dempsey and Makepeace, that was a great show. I used to watch that when I was a kid. Absolutely brilliant. Hugh McBeef, Blade Runner. Have you seen both Blade Runners, the original and the recent sequel? I don't know whether you have. Steve Miles, Logan's Run, that's another classic. Paul Oakes, do you remember the Tomorrow People? I watched some of them, Paul Oakes, but not the whole thing. It's not one I really got into completely. Mick Hardstaff, I had an old van, but I had a double mattress in the back, plenty of fun. Behave yourself, Mick. That's, yeah, I can see that. Lana, you did feel special if you got a lift in one. A Capri, says Kay. Marie Green, they haven't worked out kinks in the engineering, and Shannon Lee doesn't want to stall out on the freeways. In fact, she's eligible for the licence in California now and will wait. Okay, I assume you're still talking about Teslas there. Sliders, oh yeah, that was brilliant. That was Quinn Mallory, wasn't it? The main character in that. Sharon Shoots, a nice one, Mick Hardstaff. Well, that's why I mentioned how roomy Vauxhall Corsas were, for the same reason as Mick was mentioning the mattress in the back of his van. Good fun. Richard Void, Quantum Leap. Yeah, imagine the ability to leap in and out of people's lifetimes throughout the ages to correct a problem. That was the whole concept. Yeah, Cove Lord's jumping on your back of your van, Mick, saying trust you. Yeah, I think there's some of the British humour coming out there. There's a collection of us that know what we're talking about. Marie Green, factual, that's what I was thinking. I'd be worried for her. Lorna Mackenzie, Mick, laugh out loud. Andy, my favourite American comedies, I like Taxi and Cheers. I like Cheers, especially when I like the era where Kirstie Alley was in it. Only really because that's when I first started watching it. I didn't watch it when Shelley Long was in it right at the beginning. Still Blake 7. Twilight Zone, I've seen a few of them, some more of the more modern day ones really. Logan's Run, Michael York, yeah, Michael York, great actor. Babylon 5 was another one of my favourite sci-fi series of all time really, just the overriding story arc of the whole thing. It was more of an epic. Mick Harstaff, Sharon Shooter, not got the van. Mattress is still available. He's still off on one. Mick, you are a very naughty boy. Factual breakdown. Shelley Long was irksome as Diane. Let's see. Irksome as Diane, but Frasier ended up stealing the show. Frasier was one of my favourite comedies. Brilliant. Yeah, I've seen a few Frasiers. DB Cooper, Lost in Space, all good. Yeah, I remember the black and white version of that, definitely. Good old days in the 60s, Mick. You two are showing your age now. The 60s being where you could get away with anything. I could tell you a few stories about the 60s that were relayed to me from an old work colleague I used to work with, and he was a right tearaway. Kay, Showman, Westworld was brilliant. Yep. Having a little slurp. Anna Perkins, The Hunger, David Bowie, Air Towel, Lorna McKenzie, Love from Especially His Dad and Eddie the Dog. Yeah, Mods and Rockers, Max Ernest. We had a problem with Mods and Rockers in Margate back in the 70s. There was regular punch-ups and all sorts of riots down here. One crew didn't get on with the other crew, and they were always kicking off at each other. And I've seen various you know, black and white pictures of cops turning up on the scene, trying to break them up and throw them in the back of what we call meat wagons in this country. For those Americans that are not sure, police vans, basically. Marie Green, toe curling, Andy, was it? Yes, just a touch. Vespers and Lambrettas, yeah, Max Ernest. You must watch Contagion, 2011 film. That's on my watch list, Derek. I know why you're saying that. It rings a little bit true with today's day and age. I mean, Matt Hancock seemed to have been a fan of Contagion. I remember him saying that in a news article a long while ago. Steve Miles, Quadrophenia. I never saw that. Again, it's one I should really educate myself with. Yeah, 52 minutes in. We've got a load of people here now. So thank you for joining the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. It's really just a chance to, you know, get to know each other and have a chat with one another. Now, that community spirit, as they say, and try and do 40 minutes to an hour every day. I think it was DB Cooper says that they fancied Erin Gray in Buck Rogers in the 25th century. Yeah, she was a looker, wasn't she? I have to admit, she's been in a couple of things in later years, and still a very attractive lady. Yeah, even though she's a little bit older now. Honesty and Truth, yeah. Factual breakdown. I pinned a Porsche at 120 between Arizona and California, and that was exhilarating. Missy Foy, hi all. I've just joined you, so I've missed it. Never mind. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Well, thank you for coming and saying hi, Missy Foy. I think these damn notifications are a bit of a pain again. Lorna McKenzie, good to have a good rant and a laugh. What's life if you can't have a good rant and a laugh? May Hancock on TV trying to redeem himself. Yeah, Richard Boyd. I kind of rolled my eyes at that one. He needs to stick his head up his own backside and crodle off, I think. He's done. We will only ever know that when the general elections come by and whether he loses his seat spectacularly. Missy Foy, I never get notifications. A lot of people aren't. I saw somebody the other day say that, you know, the more videos go on a YouTube channel, the more problems there are with notifications. There could be something in that, because I've got several hundred now, and it's really getting up there. Old Bo Derek was a looker in that white bit. She did that film with Dudley Moore way back years ago as well, didn't she, Bo Derek? It just had a number as the title. I can't remember what it was, but it was an early film I did like seeing. Honesty and Truth, gotta go. Take care, everyone. Yeah, see you, Honesty and Truth. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, 10, that's it. Andrew Cooper, Missy Foy, DB Cooper, Mick Hard. Yeah, 10, that's it. I actually thought it was 11 or even 12, so I wasn't far up. Andrew Mobile 70, hey up, Andy from Yorkshire, hey up. Hope you're all right up there. and the weather's all right, but it's probably crap like it is down here. Great minds, Mick, laugh out loud, says Missy Foy. Speaking of Dudley Moore, Arthur. Oh yeah, I heard Arthur's theme on the radio the other day. I love that song. It's one of my favourites. 11 is the sequel. Harry Harlow, Toodaloo. See you, Harry. I don't know if you sneaked in earlier, but thanks for joining and popping up and saying something. Pissing it down, persisting it down in Barnsley, Missy Farr says. I better watch my P's and Q's, haven't I? Arthur, love it. Air Zulu, afternoon, Andy. Hope everyone well. Watching Norman Wisdom on the box in a stitching time. Loved his movies as a kid. Yeah, I did, Air Zulu. And Mr. Grimsdale. That was great, wasn't it? All the classics. Arthur's film by Christopher Cross. That's the one, Mark Keane. I love that song. If I'm driving along, I always turn that up when that comes on. I'm not going to try and sing any of it because you'll all clear off. I'm busy working on my New York accent for the show on the 22nd. I don't know. I'll get it. The nuances, as Factual Breakdown tells me. Okay, folks, we're coming up to the hour. It's nearly 3 o'clock, so I don't usually like to let it go on further than this. Again, thank you very much for joining me for the daily chat. Try and do one of these every day. Appreciate you all coming along to find my channel, my videos and everything else. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'm going to go and join my wife and see what she wants to do for the rest of her birthday. So look out for that content at 6 o'clock. There'll be 5 videos coming out from then. And look forward to your comments as always. Until tomorrow, I bid you toodaloo.